Welcome back, everybody. This is Imperfect Education, and I'm Cody. Today we are going to go over how to create a project and create our first program. So let's begin. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and double-click Code Blocks and open it up. We're going to go through the process of creating a new project. So let's click the Create a New Project link. Here it is going to ask us for a template. A template is just a type of application we are going to create. For this video series, we are going to mostly be using console applications. Let's go ahead and select console application and press go. Here it is going to ask us what language we want to use. Let's select C++, since that is the language we are going to learn. Go ahead and press next. Now it asks us for a project title. The title can be anything you want it to be. But for today, let's go with Hello World. And just for future reference, you can type the project name in however you want to. I do the capital letters just out of habit. Also, here's the folder to create project in. So if you have a certain folder that you want to save all your projects in while you're following this lessons, go ahead and change that there. Let's press next. Press yes, since I already have a project there. So now it's going to ask us what compiler we want to use. For this video series, we're going to go with the GNU GCC compiler. Go ahead and press finish. I'll press yes. This won't show up on yours, but alright. Now you notice on the left in our management window, we discussed this a little bit in the video before. So what it's done is it has created a new project called Hello World. And it also created a folder called Sources. If you go ahead and expand it by clicking the plus sign, you'll see main.cpp. This is the file where our source code will be located. Let's go ahead, double-click main.cpp. The contents contain a template program that's already built for us. This is a program we are going to write today, which we're going to delete this because we want to learn and not cheat. So let's go ahead and delete this code. So the first thing we are going to type is a Preprocessor Directive. This tells the compiler to load a certain library or set of libraries we're going to need for our program. So we are going to type #include space less than iostream greater than sign. Drop down to the next line and let's type using namespace space std semicolon. Let's press enter twice. And don't worry, towards the end of the video I'll explain what all this means. So then we're going to type int main open and close bracket. You'll notice that in code blocks if you do the open parentheses, sorry I said bracket, that it'll put the ending parentheses in there for you. Go ahead and press enter, and we are going to type an open curly brace, which will also add the closing curly brace. Now type cout less than space quotes, and it'll do both opening and closing quotes for you. That's kind of a nice thing about code blocks. And inside these quotes, we are going to type hello, comma, world, exclamation point. Make it exciting. So go outside of the quotation marks and go space, double less than signs, end line. And the end line is basically telling That's the end of that line. It'll put a space in there for us. So let's go down a line, and we are going to type return 0 semicolon. Basically, this is going to end the program returning 0 into the integer. This is all we have to do to run the Hello World program. So now we want to compile the program and see the result. To compile your program, you can do it several ways, and I'll go through a couple. So one is to go up to the build up on the menu bar, and you can select build and run. This will bring up the console, or DOS prompt, whatever you want to call it. And now you see Hello World, and some process returned, execution time, and then it says press any key to continue. So this is where the program is going to return. So go ahead, press any key, and it goes away, ends the program just like that. Another way to build and run the project is up here on the toolbar. You can, if you see this, it's a gear plus the plus, or the play sign, green play sign. Go ahead, press that, and there it is again, console, Hello World. Go ahead, press any key. And one last way to build and run is by pressing F9, just kind of a shortcut. So go ahead, press F9 on your keyboard, and there it is again, Hello World. Go ahead, close out of the program, and now let's go ahead and explain what all these lines of code actually mean. We're going to start with line 1 here. The first line read pound include less sign IO stream greater than sign. This line is called a preprocessor directive in combination with the second line. In this directive, it's telling us we want our program to include a library known as IO stream, which stands for input-output stream. This library will contain a set of functions that will allow us to get input into our program and write output from our program. This helps keep the language small. The second line, using namespace right there, it's namespace std, or standard, tells us that the IOStream library can be found in the namespace std, or standard. A namespace is just a logical grouping of a set of libraries. Alright, moving down to line 4 here. This indicates we are writing a function. This function is called main, and it has a return value of an integer, which is a whole number, if you don't know. Integer is abbreviated in C++ as int, int. So let's go to line 5, which is an open curly brace. All functions must consist of an open and closed curly brace. These indicate the body of the function. Alright, down to 6, where the code gets a little interesting for you guys. We see the word cout right here. Cout stands for the standard output for C++ program, which is the console. So it's output to the console, or cout. Next we have two less than signs glued together called the put to operator. It indicates what follows is going to be put to the console. Following the put to operator, we have the open quote, hello, comma, world, exclamation point, close quote. This is called a string. A string is one of the fundamental data types in C++. A string is recognized by being surrounded by quotes. The last character in the line, we have end line semicolon. Basically, this is going to put the space. This is going to end the line and go to the next line. We'll get into more details of what other types of things you can do in a later video. On line 7, we have return 0 semicolon. and functions are written to return values. In this case, the int main function, unless there is a problem, will always return a 0. 0 matches the int up and int main, which indicates the function is returning an integer number or whole number. And line 8 here is the closing curly brace, which ends the int main function. So now you have written your first program and learned what the lines mean. Doesn't it feel awesome? I remember the first time I did this program. It's pretty much the infamous program to learn for your first one. So practice a little bit with this. In the next video, we're going to be modifying the Hello World program with what we've learned and doing a little exercise with it. So thanks for watching this video, and see you in the next.